Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, salam.
You okay?
Yep.
All right. Pull your camera down a little more if you can. Yeah, that's good. Very good. How are you today?
Good.
How was school?
I didn't have school. Thanksgiving break.
Oh, I remember those. All right. So you're out today and Friday, correct?
Mhm.
All right.
And Saturday and Sunday.
Get out of here. They give you off Saturday and Sunday from school now?
Yeah.
When did that start?
I don't know. What do you mean? It's in every school.
You mentioned Saturday like I didn't know you were not in school on Saturday. I was just trying to help you catch up. We've always been off on Saturday and Sunday for school, but that's great. You plan on doing anything special?
No, no, not really.
No? Okay. Very good. So you ready to get started?
Uh, yeah.
All right. The clock is ticking, man. The clock is ticking. We're going to start with your homework, okay?
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Let's begin first and foremost by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim with Allah's signature, the merciful benefactor or the merciful redeemer. And as our audience knows, we begin every program with that mantra, keeping in mind that Allah is the most merciful of any who can show mercy. And we're thankful for his mercy. So let's find your homework. Here it is. All right, and you can begin reading whenever you're ready.
Mahdi. What did I do for my mom and dad? I tackled a duck for my dad.
All right, wait a minute. You tackled a duck for your dad? How do you tackle a duck?
You know what tackling means, right?
I do. I know it from playing football. Or maybe there's another meaning for tackle that I'm not aware of. I know tackling is jumping
Like
on something.
sometimes you have to just jump on them, or sometimes you could just run after them, and then at one point you can just sort of confuse them, and then you can run after them, corner them, and then they get confused, and then they lose a step, and then they slip. That's when you can just jump on them and
jump on them and tackle them. I get it. Okay, go on to number 2.
I helped slaughter and butcher the duck for my dad. I helped my mom cook. What did I do for Mahdi? I can feed myself. I know what to do in emergencies. I am not picky.
Okay, give me an example of an emergency where you know what to do.
So, what I'm thinking is like there's a coyote in the yard, and then like the first thing I would do is turn my back around, get for the gun.
Yeah.
Check if it's loaded. Once it is, just shoot if you can get it. Check first if the area is clear. But usually, they're not anymore because of the dog. They just start pooping in the yard, and then it just stops the coyote from coming.
Do coyotes travel in packs or are they loner?
Sometimes it's just by themselves. Well, we had one incident where there was 2 of them because it didn't make sense that how could 2 of the ducks get eaten all at once, and then so we figured that that 2 went for 2.
Yeah, they were double dipping that day, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, how many ducks do you have altogether? About? Do you keep count? No. But let's say a dozen or more or less.
Some more than a dozen.
Yeah, I would guess they're always being born, right? Because of the
No, they're not. It's not like that.
How does that go?
They're just quite a bit of them.
Yeah,
There's a bit too much because of their food consumption, so that's why we're slaughtering them.
got you. All right. Wow. Okay. And when you say you're not picky, what kinds of things did you used to be picky about?
Just random food that I just did not like eating.
Hmm?
Like something like cabbage or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't exactly like it. It tasted good sometimes, but most likely I did not like it.
Okay.
And stuff, but I don't mind anymore. I just eat
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever
Not to be.
tastes good and I can fit in my mouth and eat it. It's
Yeah.
edible. How to eat?
Yeah. What's a good reason not to be picky?
A good reason not to be picky. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're in somebody else's house and like they cook something for you specifically for you, and then you're eating it, and in your mind it's like, oh, this tastes horrible, and you just do not want to say it. Just
But
you
out
just
of
have
courtesy, out of courtesy and good manners, you
you just have to gulp it down without.
endure. Yeah. Yeah. I understand. But there's another good reason not to be picky when it comes to food, especially. Do you know what that
Another
is?
reason,
Hmm?
uh, for the nutrients.
No, no. I'm gonna say this one word and then you'll figure it out from there. You ready?
Hmm.
Poverty.
You mean like,
Like all of the people in the world who don't have a good meal to eat.
oh, like
They'll,
that?
they'll, they'll,
Okay.
they'll dig in the garbage to get food. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's the best reason not to be picky because there are some people who don't have anything to eat or anything nutritious to eat. And here we are. You see the instructor's belly. I can't afford to be picky. If it's nutritious and it's halfway tasty, there are different ways of making food taste right if you know about seasonings and those kinds of things. But we should still think about the people in the world who don't have square meals, 3 square meals a day. Sometimes they don't have any square meals a day and they can just eat whatever they can pull off of a tree, find on the ground, wrestle away from an animal all over the world. Every place is not America, right?
I would rather not wrestle. So, what kind of animal?
Well, sometimes there are animals that find food and then they place it in a particular area until they go back and get some more food and then try to put that food so they can feed their kittens or feed the other animals or whatever. But there are humans who know where these cats keep their food. And because the human is starving or very, very hungry, when the cat is gone, then the human comes out and tries to take some of that food. That's unfortunate, but that's what happens with people who are in poverty. I'm not talking about just people who don't like what they have on their plate. I'm talking about people who wish they had anything on their plate. You understand the difference?
Hmm.
Okay.
It's just that if I was a man, I would be afraid to touch that, to touch specifically the food, like whatever that thing, like that cat or whatever raccoon touch. Because if it's in its mouth and it's like it's been dragged for some time,
Mm-hmm.
the slobber and everything,
Let me
you could get,
repeat. Let me repeat. And I know you're young enough to
oh,
understand yeah, you're young enough to understand this the way I'm going to say it. When you don't have anything to eat and you are desperate, The last thing on your mind is that an animal dragged something on the ground. Yeah, I'm talking about people who every day have to look in garbage cans to get their food. So they're not so concerned about, where it came from, not even that it's dirty or that it's germy or that it's toxic even. As long as they can be here another day by eating it, they're going to do that. That's the level that some people, not all people, not even most people, I don't think, but some people in the world, in parts of India, parts of Africa, even in parts of Europe, that's how they have to live on a day-to-day basis. And that's unfortunate. And believe it or not, that's what people like the Muslims, us, are really supposed to be trying to help make better for people, because there's plenty of food on this planet, but there are not plenty enough people who are in positions of authority who have the kind of mind that says, I want the whole world to eat like I eat. Rich and those people like that who have trillions of dollars, some of them in Saudi, they have trillions of dollars, they have billions of dollars, millions of dollars. But the people right there in Saudi, you got some of them who are beggars. They're begging people for food. And that's unfortunate in a nation of billionaires, isn't it?
Mhm.
It shouldn't have to be that way, but that's not our topic for today. Let's move on to our topic, because we only have an hour. You got about 40 some odd minutes to teach. So let's do that. One day, me and you, we're going to have a day where we just talk about what's on our minds and the kinds of things that bother us and the kinds of things we like to do. And we're going to have an hour one day just to talk about that. And we're not going to do a real lesson. You want to do that with me one day?
I don't mind.
Yeah, just talk about our lives. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get going with our lesson for the day. Let's see here. All right. There we go. Now, I've been challenging you, Mahdi, with a lot of difficult concepts in language and in these letters. I have challenged you with much more than I even challenge some adults with, because you've shown me along the way that you're very, very fast. You're very quick at picking up concepts and remembering what you've read or what you've learned. So I'm going to challenge you a little bit more today, but I'm kind of thinking that you're not going to be able to get it. And I
Why?
leave it to you to prove to me that you can get it. That's the challenge for today, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for the challenge, or you rather just say, nah, I don't feel like being challenged today?
Okay. I mean, didn't sound too challenging the way you're saying
All right. Hey, I love a challenge. When I was your age, boy, tell me I couldn't do something or couldn't learn something. I say, prove it, put it in front of me and see. I don't care if it was a crossword puzzle or didn't matter, a checker game. No, I'm going to win this game. Yeah, I love a challenge. So let me see how you're going to do it, your 11-year-old self. When I was 11, boy, I was challenging people up and, I can't win you. I can't beat you at what? Give me the bat. Give me the ball. Let's go. Let's do this. And then I'd lose. But I still feel good because I stepped up to the challenge. So now you're going to have a chance to step up to a challenge that's going to present information that's a little bit more difficult than what you've been learning so far. But deep, deep, deep inside of the instructor's brain, he does believe that you'll be able to understand this. So let's go. Start reading when you're ready.
Represents the Kha represents the arms when protecting itself.
Okay. Now, what kind of situations can you think of where the arms have to protect the person?
So many.
Yeah, give me 2 or 3.
Uh, some random guy in the street decides that, hey, it's nighttime. He has some stuff. I could take it. So then this guy runs up to you, and first he threatens you, then he gets physical. then that's when you have to get physical.
All right. And what kinds of things can you do? What kind of things should you know in order to defend yourself?
To punch somebody, I mean, martial arts,
There you go. Yeah. So
something.
punching is boxing, right? If you can box, that's good. If you can do some martial arts, that's good, right?
Mhm.
If you knew jujitsu or you knew how to kickbox or something like, but you don't even have to know all of that. All you have to know how to do is use your arms to defend yourself. Some people in martial arts, in fact, they have something called a paddle block because it operates like a boat's paddle. You ever see a boat paddling and somebody's throwing at you and doing all of that and get that punch away from you, right? And then you might run after that, but at least you defended yourself using your arms, right?
Mhm.
And in the military, when you have weapons, they also call those arms, don't they?
They're not really arms, but
Well, they are arms if they're defending you.
so it's
They're just extensions of these arms. They're not these arms, but they are extensions of these arms because just like we would throw a punch, somebody might throw a bomb. You understand?
mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the war thing, but war is a part of the reality also.
Is it too dark?
Your camera? Yeah, if you can make your camera a little bit lighter, that would be wonderful. Yeah, now you're talking. All right. Okay, so let's keep reading.
In fact,
Uh,
didn't we already do this?
Yeah, we did, but this is review because of where I'm going. You're going to need this information.
Okay. In fact, kha is the arms to seize and detain, and a picture is worth 1,000 words.
All right. See, I always look at this picture as being very funny when I think about the guy that they're detaining. You know, they sent police force out for this guy. I think that's funny, but we don't know what he's up to. So they had to seize and detain him. That's all a part of that letter. What's the sound of the letter again?
Kha.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Keep going.
The sound of kha is like having a chicken bone stuck in your throat. All of a sudden, your breathing is interrupted. That feeling you have of desperation and helplessness is kha. Also, kha also represents things which come forth suddenly from the back for a survival. Suddenly for the from the from the back for survival's sake.
Okay. Let me just give you an example so you're not confused. So we said already that it's the sound of like a bone or something that's stuck in the back of your throat or a tickle or something in the back of your throat. Then you make that sound of, right? Right? Trying to get it out. So the objective is to bring it from the back to the front. You got that idea?
Mm-hmm.
From the back of the throat to the front. That's what kha represents. Now, if I'm in the playground and my younger brother is going to the same school as me and he's in the playground and I see some bully getting ready to go up to my younger brother to try to get his lunch money, I might come from the back of the playground. I might see him in the distance. Oh, wait a minute, that's my little brother. And I might come from the back of the playground to the front of the playground where he is to do what? To defend my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's anything that comes from the rear or from the back in order to introduce itself to the front for whatever reason. Normally, the reason is to defend someone or something, right? Sometimes, if you're disagreeing with an idea, I'm going to take it to another level now. I told you I'm going to challenge you today. Sometimes, if you're disagreeing with something that someone that you're in a conversation with, it can be your teacher, sometimes it can be your parent. And in your mind, you're saying, I don't know if it's the best thing to do the way you're saying do it. But you're just saying that to yourself, right? We call that thought. We say that that thought is in the back of your mind. You ever hear that phrase before? Yeah, that was in the back of my mind. And then when I spoke on it, I brought it from the back of my mind to the front of my brain so I could speak it through my mouth. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you speak, you're bringing words that are in the back of your mind. It's called the subconscious mind. We'll learn that in the next session. The subconscious mind is beneath the top part of your mind, which is the conscious mind, the mind that you use to pay attention to everything. Some things you're not paying attention to, but you already know them because they went from being in the front of your mind when you learned them, like how to drive. I saw you driving, man, in your film that you sent, right? But when you first learned to drive that tractor, you were paying attention to everything. The chicken crossing the road, whatever, where the brakes were. When you were learning, you were using your conscious mind. But once you did it so often that it became a habit because you were doing it over and over again, then your conscious mind is not doing that so much. It's your subconscious mind, which is where your memory is, your subconscious mind. So you're already learning that you have at least two different parts of the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is conscious, say it.
Conscious.
The next one beneath it is called the subconscious.
Subconscious.
Very good. All right. So once you learn how to drive, once it becomes a habit, then you can drive and talk and eat potato chips and, and just, think about, going to Disneyland or whatever. Don't go there though, but think about going somewhere where you're going to have fun, going to the beach or, whatever. And you can do that while you're driving because it's your subconscious mind that's driving, not your conscious mind now. So you can take your conscious mind and do some other stuff or think about some other things. But you couldn't do that when you were first learning, because when you were first learning, you needed your conscious mind's attention on what you were doing. It's challenging, isn't it? Do you think you can say back to me what I just said to you?
Like a summary or like.
Yeah, just summarize it.
So your conscious mind is your conscious mind is needed when you're learning. You have to pay attention, or else your when your unconscious mind, it's like when you're in a school and you're just sitting there and then you're looking at your teacher, but you're not really learning anything because your subconscious mind is just looking at her and it's just there, and your literal conscious mind is like thinking like, well, maybe I could go to the donut shop when I'm done with school or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's almost perfect. We're going to make it perfect. I'm just going to change one word that you used. You said unconscious mind. You remember saying that?
Oh, subconscious.
There you
Unconscious
go.
mind is not
Two
even
parts of the mind we're talking about.
subconscious and conscious.
There you go.
Unconscious is just nothing. You're like, it's like you're almost brain dead.
Well, let me explain unconscious to you, and then all of it's going to make sense, okay? The unconscious mind is being controlled by your genes. Do you know what genes are?
And genes.
Not the ones
Like
you put on before you go to school, not your blue jeans.
like your genes inside and stuff.
Which
Your
ones?
genes, like your genes, the the DNA and
There you go.
RNA.
Yeah, those genes. Spell that word.
GENES.
Very good. Now spell the ones that you wear to school.
GEJEAN.
All right, but they both sound exactly alike. So you have to know the difference based on how they're used in the sentence, right? So give me a sentence using genes.
You mean like the blue jeans?
Either one. Start with either one.
I my blue jeans got ripped by dogs.
Good.
The jeans of your dad are interesting.
Yeah, give me something better than that.
The jeans of your mom is from a lineage of a lineage of 25 years. Are you
At
happy?
least. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. Okay. So you got the concept. You quick, man. I love it. You're quick. I love it. Now, your genes are where your unconscious mind is. Got that? Now, let me explain unconscious so you understand it even better than that. When you're born, you're going to inherit. That's really what you were talking about. You're inheriting certain characteristics. You're inheriting even certain parts of your personality. Some people might say, boy, he laughs just like his dad, right? And you didn't mean, you're not trying purposely to laugh like your father, but it's a part of your genetic makeup. Now, those things are inherited genetically, and therefore they are part of your unconscious mind's actions. Now, there's something else happening in your body that your unconscious mind is responsible for. I'm going to give you one example, and then you're going to give me 3 more examples, like the one I gave you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right now, if you said to yourself, man, I'd like to have more hair on my head than I have right now, can you just will yourself into more hair?
No,
What's responsible for you having more hair?
your your brain.
No, because if it
Your
was your brain, you should be able to will it. It's
your
it's what we're talking about. It's your genetics.
genes.
And you are not consciously or subconsciously in control of your genes. Can you say, man, I'm only 4'7" right now, but I'd love to be 6'2"? Can you just keep saying that to yourself over and over again, year after year, and believe that you're going to grow to be 6'2" just because you consciously want to be 6'2"? Does it work like that?
No,
So what's responsible for your height?
genes.
That's right. So your hair growing, that's your genetics. The nails, that's your unconscious mind telling your nails how long to grow. And if they grow too long, then you consciously cut them. If your hair grows too long, then your conscious mind says, I'm more comfortable if it's shorter than this. But you can't stop your bones from growing inside of your body. Your bones grow. Can't stop your teeth from growing, from baby teeth, right? And they fall out, little chiclets, they fall out. Okay? So you can't stop that. The only thing that Allah put us in charge of that is being genetically activated also is how much weight you carry. So sometimes we can eat too much and just become too heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can consciously decide, I'm tired of being this heavy. I want to be slimmer, or I want to be lighter on my feet. And then you can do certain things as a diet, this, that, and the other, so that you bring your weight down to where you like it. But that's just about the only genetic thing that you have control over in terms of what your genes are doing in your body. Other than that, it's just your unconscious mind at work. And your unconscious mind, listen to this carefully, it's directly connected to what Allah wants for you. Allah wanted you to be 6'2". He made you 6'2". He wanted you to stay 5'4". You stay 5'4". He wanted your hair to grow long until you say, I need to cut it. It'll keep growing long. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But everything else, Allah let you have control over. So if you're too mad all the time, you're going to school and you always have that frown on your face. I don't want to be here. I don't like learning. That's your emotions. And that's being controlled by something that you have control over. So you can change yourself from being mad and sad and into being glad and happy, joyful. Even though people around you are acting a fool and acting, crazy, you can still say, I'm not going to be like that because Allah gave you control over that. You understand me?
Yeah.
All right. So you can go from being mad to being glad. Sometimes you have to be mad. I don't like what you did. I'm going to tell you about it. Okay. But then after that's over, you want to get back to the joy, to the glad part, right? You want to get back to when you see the sun come up and you say, wow, look at what Allah did. Oh, it feels so good. Or even when it rains, and that nice smell comes in the air. You're over there on the farm, you know what I'm talking about. When it rains, you smell that ozone in the air, and it's like, oh my goodness. Or a new day comes and the sun comes up, and you smell that fresh air when the sun comes up. Ah, this is wonderful. Thank you, Allah. So you can control that. But you can't control how much your bones grow or how high your height gets. All right, so I think you understand that. So kha means that which is all of the way in the rear, all of the way in the back, that has to come forth. Khaf, khaf. It has to come from back here to express itself out there. You ready to keep reading?
Mm-hmm.
I already know we're not going to get through all of this today because I need to go slow enough for you and the audience to understand what it is we're saying. So continue to read. And even if you have a question, just stop and ask.
But for survival's sake, the Qur'anic-Arabic word KhaLeeFah alludes to one who comes back from the back in order to lead from the front. Repeat the sound of kha in your mouth.
So
Kha,
say kha like 10 times in a row.
kha, 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 kha.
That's about 12. Okay, that's good. Very good. Okay. So you got the idea. Kha has to come from the back. That's the idea. Okay. Now, think about it again. If you're choking on a chicken bone, you probably never see anybody who's choking on a bone just go one time. Have you ever choked on a bone?
Well, I've choked on water in my spit, but
Yeah.
like fish bone or something like that.
Yeah. It's like coughing. When you have to cough, very rarely will you cough one time and that's it. You have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the cough is going to repeat itself. That's a different letter in Arabic, and we'll get to it at some point in the future. That's the letter qaf. Sounds like cough. Qaf, cough. Say that.
Qa.
Yeah. So that's something coming from the back that's repeatedly brought to the front. If you're coughing, it's also because you might be trying to loosen some phlegm or something that's in the back, some mucus or something that's in the back of the throat, and you're trying to expel it. Okay. But kha is when something is in the back of your throat that could possibly threaten your life if you leave it there. If you need to cough and you don't cough, it's not necessarily going to threaten your life by not coughing. But if you have something that is blocking your air passages in the back of your throat, you had better get somebody to do what they call the Heimlich maneuver and press on your chest until it comes up. But the kha is for purposes of survival. Got that? So when you hear the letter kha, I want you to think survival. When you hear the word or letter kha, I want you to think what?
Survival.
That's right. Okay. Continue to read. You repeated the kha, so let's move on. Now, this is the next letter we're going to learn. What letter is that?
Laam.
Okay. Speak on it.
The part of the body represented the tongue, used for tasting and talking. L is the one letter which identifies identify language, it and of itself. The letter L happens to be the most used letter in the Arabic alphabet.
Okay. So if you gather all of the words in Arabic, most of them are going to begin or include the letter Lam or the letter L. It's the most popular letter in the alphabet. So keep that in mind. Let's continue.
We use our tongue to ask questions, and this is how we learn. We also use our tongues to teach, and this is how we share knowledge. In Arabic, the word for tongue is lisan,
Yeah.
and tongue, the major tool of communication. The Arabic word laf means
Lugh.
speak.
Let me tell you how to pronounce it. Lugh.
Lugh
Mm-hmm.
means speak. The tongue pulls in information by asking questions and pushes out information by speaking and teaching.
Okay. So the tongue has a double responsibility. It has.
Sharing,
Go ahead.
speaking, teaching.
What was the first one you said?
It asking questions and speaking or
Yeah,
teaching.
that's right. That's right. Now, both of those have to do with talking, right? Asking questions or giving information, right?
Mhm.
But now there is one other uses for the tongue. What is it? You do it every day.
Eating.
Eating, right? So when you're eating, you're taking in food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And food is information. Did you know that?
Well, taste bud information.
What is information?
Something that your brain takes in to learn.
Mm-hmm. So is food information? What happens
Yeah,
to food when you eat it?
depends on what kind of food. I mean, you chew it up, it tastes good, or you think it tastes good, and it goes down your throat.
And what does it do for your body or in your body?
Gives nutrition.
How does it know to do that?
Your body?
How does the food know to provide nutrition for your body?
Because it has it.
And
I mean,
what is it?
like,
What is
it
that it
has
has?
nutrition.
What is nutrition?
Food,
I'm going to challenge
nutrition.
you today. I told you I'm going to challenge you today. But you stepping up
What
to
do
the
you
plate. Though.
mean?
I
What
like
is
your answers. I like
nutrition?
your answers. Keep going. Keep going.
What is nutrition?
Yeah.
Atoms? And like atoms are information?
Atoms are
I
what?
mean, like you
Atoms
learn
are what?
about you,
What you
huh?
say atoms are?
You information.
Okay. When you eat an apple, the vitamins that are in the apple are nutrition, right?
Oh wait,
Nah, you're getting it. Go ahead.
I don't think I got it, but what I'm thinking is like when you eat the food, your brain gets like, oh, this is food. You, your brain says, hey, let's break it apart. You break it apart with your mouth and stuff, and it goes to your stomach, and then there's nutrition, and then this your stomach and your intestines. All this is sent up to your brain, and your brain is like, oh, I should eat more of this, and then you keep eating it and eating it and eating it, and then your brain gets the information that you should eat this. It's good for you. It's healthy for you.
But what's the last thing in your body that gets that information? We know your brain gets it. Your brain gets it as soon as it sees the food. Your brain goes, whoa, that looks good, right? Then even before you put that food in your mouth, your saliva starts to get, You start to get the enzymes develop that's going to break that food down even before the food touches your tongue. Then you eat the food. And what's the last place that food ends up in? I'm going to give you the Jeopardy clock on that one.
The toilet.
No, in you. Ting, 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 ting.
Well, I mean, the only last part of your body that really sees it is like your rectum.
No, let me make this easy for you.
I mean, that's the last part.
No, it's not. No, 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 no. I don't mean as it exits. I mean, while it's in your body, what was calling for that nutrition? What part of your body? What part of your
stomach?
system?
Your stomach?
That's general. I'm going to give you a more specific answer. You ready? I want you to remember this answer because I'm going to ask you again at random, and you should be able to tell me back, okay?
Okay.
What was calling for that nutrition was your blood, your cells.
Oh, I thought you meant like the gigantic stuff.
No.
I meant you're talking about organs.
No, your blood is not an organ. Your blood is a system. Your organs are systems, but
your stomach is made out of cells.
Yes. So it's your cells that want to be fed correctly so that they can grow. You're not doing that. What part of the mind is doing that again?
Unconscious?
Everybody out there in YouTube land. That's right. That's right. Your unconscious mind is calling for it. You see how that works?
How would genes specifically help?
Because within the core of every cell, and you have trillions of cells in your body, okay? Within the core or the middle of every gene, your genes are in the core of your cells. And the DNA is in charge of what those cells do and don't do. So let me give you a quick lesson in chemistry. Let's say that Mahdi is a DNA molecule, okay? What Mahdi does as a DNA molecule is feed from the environment through the blood. It's constantly searching for things that are going to complement the cell, cause the cell to grow and become stronger and become more resistant to disease. And so you're doing all of that as the cell and as the DNA. But when an enemy gets in the body, like something that doesn't belong in the body, that's practically most of what they sell us as food. It really doesn't belong in the body because it's fake. We'll have that conversation in the near future. But all of this fake food comes into the body, the potato chips and ice cream and all that stuff that Allah never created, right? People create those things in the laboratory and they say, here's a new food out. And you go, oh, I love it. And then you wind up getting sick and dying from most of that stuff because it's no good. So when the cells come in contact with this fake stuff, do you know what the cells do?
Reject it.
How?
Sends it back.
Go back to the letter Kha. What are the arms doing?
They're, I don't know, moving.
No, what did we say Kha means?
From
in relation to the arms, remember?
Yeah, like throwing a punch, it starts with your guarding position and then it comes out. You can't start from the front and then go back. It'd be like this. That wouldn't do much unless you like run towards them. And your legs have to move forward. Your legs start from the beginning.
Yeah.
You can't do much without starting from the beginning.
This is true. So the DNA is not in the front of the cell. The cell has an outer covering. It has a skin called a membrane. Have you learned that in school yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So the DNA is in the core of the cell, being protected on all sides by the membrane. But if something begins to happen that threatens the life of the cell, then the membrane does something. See? The DNA signals the membrane. It sends the membrane information. Hey, protect me. Like the king might say if somebody's trying to attack his village, right? Hey, guards, protect us. And then the guards come from wherever they are in the back playing cards. I don't know, whatever they were doing. And they come running with their rifles or with their spears or whatever. And they go, oh, we have to protect the kingdom, right? So they come running from the back. They're not out there in the front. He has to call for, hey, security, security, right? On the microphone in the supermarket, security, security, someone's robbing the store, right? And then the guards come or the police come, but they're not there to begin with. They come from wherever, the back, the street, the back of the store, you know, behind the one-way glass, you know, the one-way window mirror, you know, that kind of, oh, something's going on out there. We better get out there, right? So what I'm trying to show you is that this letter Kha means all of what we just spoke about. Anytime anything in nature needs to protect something by coming from where it is to where the trouble is, that's Kha. You understand that the way I explained it? Mm-hmm. All right. Can you explain that back to me?
Like everything, just summarize it.
Summarize. Always summarize.
Okay. So like you would be in your house, and then like I would be in my house. I'd just be doing whatever I'm doing, like eating or like watching something or like sitting down. And then my mom is like my mom would be I guess she walks towards the door. She opens the door to the outside, and she sees a coyote. What does she do? She most likely calls me, the one who can move. So I run to my mom. I was like, "Do you have the gun yet?" And she said, "Yes." No. I grabbed the gun, and then she might fire it. I might fire it. I'm doing like I'm starting from the starting position. I'd be here or something. And then I would have to, my mom is over here. Mm-hmm. So then I can't just, I can't already be there because I would have already noticed the coyote. Mm-hmm. So my mom would have to notify me about this coyote. I run to her. I have to start from the beginning. If I was already there would be no point in telling this.
That's right, exactly. Very well said.
And I would have to shoot the coyote or try. I mean, anything loud like a gun that gets anywhere slightly close to it will most likely scare it away.
Very good explanation. I love that. That's a great explanation. So it's the same thing with your cell. When things that are not nutritious come into the body, poisons or too much sugar or anything like that, and it begins to surround the cell, trying to knock on the door to see if grandma is home. You know what I'm saying, right? Like the bad stuff, the toxic stuff, the poisonous stuff is trying to get into the cell so that it can take over the DNA, wrestle it to the ground like you did that duck, right? But the cell has intelligence created by Allah. You know what the word intelligence means? Did I go over that with you already?
Oh yeah, intelligence is what you already know. Your intellect is what you're going to know, but you're intelligent. So your intelligence is like how you learn.
Break that word down by syllables.
Intelligent,
like
in.
What does in stand for?
In. Oh, this is it. So you mean like, are you trying to tell me intelligence is like what we're saying here in Arabic? The word for tongue is lisan, and not the tongue stuff, but I mean the tongue pulls information by questioning and pushes out information by speaking and teaching. Intelligence is something you're going to learn that your tongue needs to communicate with the other person, ask questions, as said in your sentence, paragraph, or whatever. And your no intellect is that is the tongue pulls in information by questioning, and intelligence is the brain. The brain what it already knows, and that's how the person that wants to know asks you. And the intelligence that you've already gained, you teach them about the intelligence that you already know, so that then this intelligence goes to them, then they have that intelligence, and then if somebody else comes and they need this intelligence, so they use their intellect to learn the intelligence.
Ooh, I'm sorry. YouTube audience, give that young man an applause. Give him a hand. Now I'm going to show you how to make that everything you just said very, very simple to explain. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to remember this when I tell it to you. You're going to remember that I told it to you before. When I said break it down by syllables, first spell the word
Intellect or intelligence?
intelligence.
Okay. To be honest, I might not know.
Just sound it out. You know it. In.
I know. Intelligence.
I told you, you know it. All right.
I
Now,
said I might know that. I don't know.
say it again.
I said I might not know, but yeah.
Well, see, the thing is that if you were told it a few weeks ago or whenever, last month, and you repeated it, you know it. You just have to find it. It's in the house somewhere. You just have to call it forth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew that you knew it. You just have to be reminded. Now look at this. Look at this. Intelligence.
Intelligence. If you move the C and put the E where it is, and remove the intelli, it spells gene.
That's right.
So can you see? Remove the C.
Yeah.
Put the E there.
Yeah.
Right where the C is, and move everything else. It spells D.
There you go. It spells genes.
Intelligence.
You already know now that the last syllable means genes. Gents is from the word genes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what does the in? What is that talking about?
It starts here.
In you.
Yeah, in you.
Internal. Say it.
Intelligence.
No, not internal genes yet, because there's another word in between there. Telly. What is telly?
So like telephone.
That's right. Telephone. What is it doing?
It's communicating.
What does a telegram do?
Sends a signal. That signal becomes a message. That message is sent to another signal.
That's right. So anything that says telly on the beginning of it has to do with two-way communication. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So intelligence is the internal communication, two-way communication that's coming from your genes.
Your genes.
That's right. And all of that is a part of your DNA. You're born with intelligence in your DNA. Nobody had to teach it to you. Your mommy didn't teach it to you. Your daddy didn't teach it to you. Your teacher didn't teach it to you. Instructor Bilal could have never taught it to you. Allah put that knowledge of how to do things like grow your hair and your nails and your teeth and your bones and your blood flow and your nervous system and all of that. No human could ever have taught us how to use those things. Only Allah is responsible for conditioning all of those things in the body to do what he created them to do. The way your eyes blink, the fact that you have to go to sleep, you can't help it. You have to. If you don't go to sleep, you could die, believe it or not. If you keep trying to keep yourself awake, drinking caffeine and all of that kind of stuff, and I got to stay up for the game, and you do that enough days in a row, you will fall out.
Your cells need rest.
They all need rest. Everything needs rest except for what?
Genes?
Say it again.
Genes?
No, your genes need rest too.
Allah?
That's right. Allah is the only thing that we can say does not need sleep, does not need rest. He doesn't need a break. Like, wait a minute, I'm tired of creating. I'll get back to that tomorrow. Boy, I'm worn out. No, Allah never gets worn out. He never gets tired. He never has to have sleep. He never slumbers. He's never sitting there like, what happened? That's us. That's creation that does that. Never creator. The creator is always aware of every single thing that's going on, even the things that we can't see. Allah is still in control of those things, full control, seeing every aspect of it. We can't see atoms with these eyes. We don't know what atoms are. We're still guessing in the science lab about what an atom is. You see? But Allah knows what the atom is, what it looks like, how it functions, how long it lasts, how to perpetuate it, to keep it going and to produce more of them. Allah knows all of that because he created all of that. So that makes Allah the superior, and that makes humans the inferior. And we can't compare the superior with the inferior. All right. So that's an important lesson. Before we close out, we're going to make that point that humans are not Allah. If our Christian friends and folks are listening, humans are not God. They can never be God. Humans can never compare with God.
We're inferior.
Not only inferior, God is incomparable, meaning that you can't even say God is like the sun because he gives us light and heat and warmth and life.
We can't
even compare him with the sun. As beautiful as the sun is, we still can't compare Allah because that's a piece of creation. That's going to go out one day, however many billions of years from now. That sun is going to be something different, or it's going to burn out because it's not forever. Allah is forever. Speak.
Allah could be this. Allah created this sun. It's like a billion times bigger than us. Well, he created the galaxy. He created the Milky Way. He created the universe. He created like thousands of stuff. If he could create that, then he can't be compared to any of that.
That's right.
Anything he creates can't be compared.
That's wisdom. That's 11-year-old wisdom. No. That's 70-year-old wisdom in an 11-year-old body. That's what that is. All right, so let's wind down. We have about a minute or two left. So we're talking about the letter Laam, and the letter we discussed before this was what? Right. Kha. And we have one more letter to go, but we're going to wait until next week when your brain is fresh, because you're going to enjoy this. We're going to be talking about the 3 letters, like I put in the email. Kha, Lam. Do you remember what the last letter is?
You put it on the title, right?
Huh? It was in your email.
Kha, Lam. Wow.
No. It doesn't matter if you don't remember. I'm going to tell you.
Kha.
No, Fa. The F. Okay? And those are the three letters for that word that you saw earlier called KhaLeeFah.
KhaLeeFah.
Yeah. Those letters for that word is in the Quran multiple times, but it's a much misunderstood word. People think that a Khalifa is some guy in Iran somewhere giving orders to the people. You know, I'm the Khalif, you know, for this generation. And you got some people sitting around waiting for a Khalif to come to free up all the Muslims on earth and all that. A Khalifa is not a political person. It's not a person who's a political leader. The Khalifa is not a military leader. The Khalifa, in this regard, is not a human at all. It's a process. Now, that's a big concept. I told you I was going to challenge you. The Khalifa in the Quran, I'm talking about. I don't know what they're doing around the world in their political and military stuff that they do. But as far as the Quran is concerned, a Khalifa is not a person per se. People can bring the spirit of the Khalifa, of the one who's going to bring about certain changes for the better. That's what a Khalifa does. But we can't say that the person is a Khalifa and that when the person dies, the Khalifa went away. No. The influence that the person leaves will live on. And the Khalifa, for that matter, will still be in the world as an influence. Got
The
it?
Khalifa is an influence or process.
Yes, as an influence and as a process that continuously evolves. It gets better and better, richer and richer. See, that's what the Khalifa is designed to do.
Like genes.
Exactly. I'm going to give you one connection and then we'll close out. In the English language, you're a farm boy, right? You know what a cow is. Okay. There are 3 stages to that cow's development. What are they? When it's born, is it called a cow?
No, calf.
That's right. When it is 2 years old, what do we call it then? Is it still a calf?
No.
Do you know the word for it? So most people don't know this.
I feel like I know it. I heard it. It's like something in the middle, something in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm here for I've been here for some time. There's a lot of cows, but nobody has ever really mentioned it to me. And we don't raise cows, so we don't really know much about them.
Okay.
So you may go ahead.
Okay. It's called a heifer.
Oh, never mind. I don't know what that is.
All right, no problem. Write it down and look it up. Heifer. Homework question.
What do you want me to write down for that?
I want to know the difference between a calf, C-A-L-F, and a heifer, H-E-I-F-E-R.
H-E-F-F-E-R?
H-E-I-F-E-R. You don't pronounce the I. So you just say
H-E-I-F-E-R?
yes, sir. Then I want you to spell calf one more time.
Calf?
Calf, the baby cow.
C-A-L-F?
Okay. Now, is that C? Because in the English language, C can only be pronounced 2 ways. All right. Spell the word circus.
C-I-R-C-U-S.
Okay. How many C's are in that word? Write it out.
2.
Yeah. How do you pronounce each one of those C's? What letter do you hear when you pronounce each one of them? Sir?
First one, S.
Yeah. Cuss.
The second one is, yeah.
Second one is what letter?
C. The second letter is C.
Y'all know.
K.
Yeah. So we were going to spell that the way we hear it, it would be S-I-R-K-U-S. Circus, right? Make sense?
Mhm.
You know why that is? Because there's really no such thing as the letter C. It's either an S or a K, no matter where you find it.
So it's like,
It's a completely unnecessary letter.
what about communication? So that's just a K.
That's a K.
I've asked that question before. I asked her, like, what's the difference between a K and a C? And she was like, yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
what's
a
the
good question
difference?
to ask your teachers, right?
It's like can. It's like, why can't you put a K in there? Then it's still
Exactly.
can.
Yeah.
The chicken coop, it's still a coop.
Yeah. Still a K. If
So
I say
it's K, 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 K.
circular, circle, or circular, right? Circle, the same thing. SK, circle, two C's. But the first one is S, sir. The second one is K, co. Circumvent, C, but pronounced as a K. Cistern, Cistern, but the C is pronounced as an S, cistern. So every single word that you find in the English language that begins with a C is going to either be pronounced as an S or a K. So remember that rule. They're not going to teach you that in school. You got it? Not the way I'm teaching it to you, at least. Because they won't be able to explain why the letter C is necessary. I can tell you, but I'm not going to tell you tonight. And when I finally explain it to you, you're going to go, wow, is that the reason they did that? But like I said, we're out of time. I'm not going to tell you tonight. I don't have time.
Also, so for my homework, I just put what is the difference between a heifer and a calf.
That's right. And then next week, I'm going to explain to you how the word calf with its K sound and then the letters LF are related to the Qur'anic-Arabic word that we've been discussing today. What's that word?
Huh?
What's the main word we were discussing today from the Quran?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but what word?
KhaLeeFah.
Yeah, keep going. KhaLeeFah.
KhaLeeFah.
Yeah, so you see the kha, you see the lam, L, li, and then you see the fa, kha, la, fa, or KhaLeeFah, right?
Mhm.
And in the English word calf, you see the C, which is the K sound. Then there's a strange thing that happens right here, Mahdi. They put an L in the word calf, but you don't say calf, right?
Mhm.
So why didn't they just leave it like KAF? Because that's how it sounds, calf, right?
Mhm.
So what's this whole thing about a silent letter? Silent L. Can you figure that out? I scratched my head over that. Why did they put an L in the word calf? If you go to school and say, teacher, I know what that word is, she puts it on the board, CALF. Okay, Mahdi, what is that word? You say calf. And she says, wrong. But what is this? It is. If you say KAL, you said, well, she said, no, that's a C. No, that's a K. Listen, what letter is that, teacher? I don't mean for you to go to school and do that. You'll get in trouble, right? I just want you to know that English is a very strange language. It has little secrets in it that we'll discuss when you become better at Quranic words. Then I'll begin to explain to you what English words really mean. But it has a silent L, calf.
Calf.
Yeah. But as far as the letters go, they perfectly match the sounds that are in the Arabic word KhaLeeFah. The kha is the same as the ka. It's from the back of the throat. Ka, ka, kha, kha. It's from the same part of the throat. The L, the lam, your tongue has to touch the top of your palate to say l. Say it with me. You see, your tongue has to go up. So something is being elevated or graduated. Yeah, now say the last letter. F. Say it.
F.
Now say fa.
Fa.
So something is coming out when you say fa, right? If you don't like what somebody's doing to you, we used to have a word called fooey. Fooey on you. It's something that was coming out of us that we didn't like that you were doing, right? So listen to these sounds and then we're going to close out. Going back to the word KhaLeeFah. What part of the throat is kha coming from?
Here.
Where? What is that in your throat? Is it the front of the throat? Is it where is that in?
Like
From the back.
In the back.
Yeah. Right? Trying to get the chicken bone out. Right? All right. Now, after it leaves the back of the throat, in the word KhaLeeFah, where does the tongue go? What's the second move in the letter L? Where does the tongue go?
Where does the L go?
In the mouth.
In the upper part of your gums.
Yes. The upper, they call it the palate. Up. Okay. So it comes from the back. Then it's elevated. You see it? You see the L in elevate? Right? It's elevated up to the top. You can't say L unless the tongue touches the top palate. L. Like when you go up in the elevator. Then, where is the sound of fa in the mouth?
That.
Fa.
In your tongue. That.
Fa. F-A. Fa. Where is that coming from?
Your lip touching your upper teeth. That.
Good.
That. Well, air's coming out.
Yeah. Your bottom lip is touching your upper two front teeth to say fa. And whatever's in there as air is being expelled forward. Fa. Put your hand there. Fa. You can feel the air.
Fa.
Okay. So look at these three stages. This is going to be important for next week's class. And I want you to review this on YouTube when it comes out. This is going to be one of the last classes that we put on YouTube. So make sure that you pay attention to this one. You'll still get the replays, but the public won't, because I'm going to take you on a journey that they won't be able to hang with. They're going to have to get their own private lessons after December. So pay attention. Kha from the back. Li up to the top. Fa out into the open. This is what a KhaLeeFah is. It's an influence, like you called it, that comes from the back. What does the back mean? It can be from the back in history sometimes. In history is behind us. It's in the back. So it could be something good that happened in the back that Allah elevates in you. It could be traits or personalities or anything that Allah retrieves from behind you. And then he elevates it up to the top. And then he conditions it so that it comes out into the public for the public to benefit from. So that's the basis of what a KhaLeeFah is. There's much more to it, but we're going to stop there. I just want you to think about that for the next week. You got that?
The chicken bone has to come out from the very bottom. Then it needs to get elevated out of the throat. Then the throat, and then your mouth. Spit it.
You got it. You got it. All right. So here's a final part of your homework. You ready? Explain the word KhaLeeFah in your own words. Don't worry about what the dictionary says. Just go based on what we said those words and those sounds mean. So listen back to this replay and then give me at least a half a page of your own thoughts on what a KhaLeeFah is. And use the best of your imagination to do it. There's no such thing as a wrong answer for this question that I'm asking you.
So what is what?
A KhaLeeFah, according to the way we explain the letters today.
How do you spell KhaLeeFah?
You ready? KHALEEFAH. Read it back, please.
KHALEEFAH.
That's correct. And sometimes if you're reading it in a book, instead of EE, they might put an I. But the sound for pronunciation's sake is double E, E, KhaLeeFah, not KhaLeeFah, KhaLeeFah. Okay? You ready to go, or you have anything else you need to ask?
No.
Okay. Did very well today. I appreciate your presence. And thank you for your participation. Thank you for being available, Mahdi. I know you have a life full of responsibility, but you take this 1 hour a week out to be my friend, my learning buddy. I appreciate that. All right?
Thank you too. Without you, I can't do any of this.
Alhamdulillah. Allah could have easily sent you somebody else. Not quite like me, but I think Allah sent me to you for a big reason that you're going to find out about probably when you turn 12. Yeah, I think one day you're going to be an established speaker, especially to young people, because you have a very good grasp of information and you have a very deep desire to share what it is you know with other people. And you might not even know that yet, but I think that's going to blossom and flower in you. And eventually it'll come from the back. It'll be elevated and you'll be able to present it to the public. So you will be under the influence of the KhaLeeFah in another year or two. Inshallah, Allah knows best. But that's my guess, okay? Don't be afraid of it. Allah is in control and he's got you. So with that said, let us end by giving our audience the greetings of peace. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
All right.